From his Central Texas Command Center, deep behind enemy lines, the information war continues. It's Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
We're live. Thank you for joining us. It is the 12th day of the 12th month of 2010 on this live Sunday broadcast. We're going to be here for the next 2 hours, and we're going to open the phones up. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, the toll-free number to join us is 888-201-2244. But again, we'll open the phone system coming up at the bottom of the hour, a few minutes before, 888-201-2244. But I want to fire out all the topics and issues that I want to discuss so we can get your take on them. You're always welcome to call in with your question, your comment, your view, if you agree, if you disagree, as long as it's civil. We'd love to hear from you. I talk about having a lot of frustration because I study how the world really works. I study what the Trilateral Commission, the United Nations, the Council on Foreign Relations, the RAND Corporation state. And these are the groups that run our planet. And they talk about their disgust and how they detest us, how they want a planetary regime to cut off our resources, to make us dependent on government so we can be exterminated in an orderly fashion. And then I attempt to come and just get the public to even admit that there is a global elite who are undemocratic and who have taken control via fraud and who socialize the grassroots wealth to consolidate power into their own hands. And I get told that doesn't exist. Well, I thought I would go over some source documents and some mainstream media admissions today dealing with that. Here's the New York Times. A secretive banking elite rules trading in derivatives. And that's out of the New York Times. Now, this is nothing new for our audience, but it's this shift where now they just throw it in your face and say, yeah, a secret group runs it. There's a world government, but it's for your own good. That's coming up. Bernie Madoff's son, Mark, commits suicide. If you believe he committed suicide, you probably believe a lone gunman killed JFK. We're going to be talking about that coming up. Police probe Stockholm blast as act of terrorism. Looks like another staged provocateur event. Even Geraldo Rivera last week debated O'Reilly and explained how all these previous dud bombings have been provocateured. Amazing to see him going that far. He's on fire these days. I've been quite a critic of the strombolied, mustached individual. But we're going to be discussing that. Also, new TSA outrages. WikiLeaks backlash. The first global cyber war has begun, claim hackers. And guys, look at prisonplanet.com. He was set to have it ready by showtime. Watson has discovered and talked to friends and family in Europe that the European version and the UK version of Amazon, the biggest online retailer on the globe, is down as promised by Anonymous, the group wanting to punish them. And there it is. Print that for me, guys. Thank you. Breaking news. WikiLeaks hacktivists shut down Amazon's European websites. Assange supporters make good on threat to exact revenge for website closure. I think that's Drudge Report material right there, but who knows? I think that's pretty newsworthy. Update, Amazon's website have just come back online. The downtime was a good 2 hours. Twitter is still raging on the issue. But Paul and Steve are in the UK. They've got family in France and have confirmed on the continent of Western Europe, that sector of the continent, Europa, and out into Albion or England, Britannia, they've had the same problem. So we're going to be breaking that down, a huge in hacker lore. This is one of the biggest. I got to say it's bigger, though, hacking the East Anglia emails where they're all, yeah, we're taking over. It's all fraud. The Earth's getting cooler. They'll never figure that out. We're going to get massive tax money off this. Last November of last year, that induced yours truly to pop champagne live on air. I knew that was going to be mega big, and that's brought down their entire fraud. By the way, we have more news on that. In the UN report for this current meeting going on in Mexico, the UN wants forced relocation for environmental reasons. And that's actually in a Guardian article as well, dealing with the United States. Forced relocations here in the U.S., that's coming up. And a lot more. The true nature of government, who rules our planet, and how to take government back for the people. It's all coming up on the other side of this quick break. Infowars.com.
The Genesis Communications Radio Network proudly presents The Alex Jones Show, because there's a war on for your mind.
Well, we've got big news for you breaking on this live Sunday edition, the 12th day of December 2010. This year is very long in the tooth now. Hard to believe 2010 is almost over. Seems like it started 5 minutes ago. Big breaking news at prisonplanet.com. We have confirmed that a group known as Anonymous has hacked and brought down for at least 2 hours today the Amazon.com servers of the continent of Western Europe, at least the western area of the continent of Europe, Germany, France, you name it, and, of course, the UK, Ireland, Scotland, on some of the busiest shopping days of the year. In fact, this weekend is the most busy shopping day online because most stores and shops online cannot guarantee shipping if it's not in by this Monday or Tuesday. It's the same thing with our online video bookstore at Infowars.com. Folks have to get any book or T-shirt or documentary film orders in by Friday to have it guaranteed to be shipped to them. But the point is, this is one of the busiest times of the year, obviously going into Christmas. We have the London Guardian report here. WikiLeaks backlash, the first global cyber war has begun, claims hackers. They swore to bring down Visa, MasterCard, and, of course, Amazon last week. And now they've done it. There's been major slowdowns in Visa and MasterCard. Stores reporting, according to the AP and others, that at times credit cards are not working. Also, they are confirming that Julian Assange WikiLeaks was hosted on Amazon.com's CDN servers. You can buy server space with Amazon for content distribution network type server systems, similar systems to what we use here at Infowars.com and prisonplanet.com, but we don't buy our CDN time through Amazon. And when they kicked him off without a judge, without a jury, Lieberman called up and ordered him to do it. Lieberman admits he routinely calls YouTube and orders stuff down. Who needs a judge? Who needs a jury? Who needs a court? Who needs due process? If Joe Lieberman says it, it happens. And if there's another congressman who I'm going to talk about later in the broadcast, Congressman Cohen, if he doesn't like something like Jesse Ventura's conspiracy theory on True TV, the episode I consulted on and appeared in Friday's episode as well on BP, but the FEMA camp police state episode, the Threat Fusion Center martial law episode, he just called up and had that removed from television as well. So that's the new America, where I guess people in government like Jay Rockefeller, he's been calling for censorship. 3 weeks ago, he called to, quote, ban Fox News. Regardless of what you think of Fox News, when he gets up in a committee hearing and Jay Rockefeller says, I want to shut down Fox News, and now the FCC commissioner, of course, that's what a commissar is in Russian, I guess, is a commissioner. So our American commissar went on BBC a week ago. We played the clip here. If you don't believe me, just search FCC commissioner says, end free speech on radio, print, and TV. And he just came right out and said, we played the clip, I couldn't believe it. He said, what you've seen in media and the freedom is an aberration and will end. So this is getting more and more insane. Here is the breaking news. Breaking news. WikiLeaks hacktivist shut down Amazon's European websites. Assange supporters make good on threat to exact revenge for website closure. Update, Amazon's website is back up in Europe, but very slow. And I would go on to add that the downtime was a good 2 hours. That is huge on one of the busiest shopping days of the year. Twitter is still raging on the issue. And Paul Watson, again, lives in England, just north of London. And he's been trying to buy Christmas presents all day for his folks who are coming into town next week for Christmas. And he can't order anything for them all day, he said. So that's confirmed. It was down. It appears that WikiLeaks hacktivists have made good on their threat to take down one of the Internet's global behemoths. Amazon's European websites are down. and inaccessible, costing the company untold millions. One of the busiest shopping days of the year in the run-up to Christmas, firing the biggest salvo, and the hacktivists have dubbed a new cyber war. Wikileaks supporters have seemingly exacted revenge for Amazon removing Julian Assange, he's the front man, Patsy's website, for George Soros, for its cloud of network servers at the behest of Joe Lieberman's Senate Homeland Security Committee 10 days ago. Catching you up to speed, it is entirely possible that Anonymous and 4chan hacking group could be behind the downtime. The group, which has tossed attacks at MasterCard, Visa, PayPal since the arrest of WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange, has claimed in part that it would target Amazon. It was widely known that WikiLeaks was using an Amazon DNS service, and Amazon then pulled the site from its servers due to the activities, reports the Next Web. Watson goes on to report he was personally trying to buy Christmas presents around 8 p.m. GMT on the Amazon.co.uk. The website became increasingly lethargic before it went down altogether. Amazon's websites in France, Germany, Italy also all fell offline at time of writing, although Amazon.com is still accessible at the present time. So they are knocking those down. That is certainly big news. And all of these companies are quoted. In fact, here's the Financial Times of London headline. I'll show prisonplanet.tv viewers a document cam shot of that. Anonymous cyber warriors stun experts. And it goes on. Internet subscribers rarely make front page news. Or internet subcultures rarely make front page news. But when the mysterious forces of Anonymous took it upon themselves to attack opponents on WikiLeaks, the whistleblowing website, their success took everyone, not least the victims, Visa, MasterCard, and PayPal, by surprise. This year, now notice, this year has seen military and security experts often warn about the prospects of cyber war. Few expected the most prominent assailants against large companies to come from a scattered group of anarchists and idealists who, with no identifiable leader, membership, or nationality. The loose internet grouping calls itself Anonymous. That's just a cover name for anybody who's mad to attack somebody online, who has been notorious in web circles for years, particularly for its apparently random attacks on the music industry. No, they're mad about their surveillance of the web. Kiss singer Gene Simmons, YouTube, and the Scientologist. It willfully illiterate grammar and black humor has permeated the internet far beyond the 4chan message board, which originally spawned it. And it just goes on from there. Yeah, it stunned the Pentagon that warned us that a cyber attack was coming. I have been saying for 2 years, just like I said there'd be some staged attacks or foiled attacks right before the November election to help the Democrats. And sure, they still got beat, but it got some of their polls up and helped them keep a few of their seats. That wasn't just Alex Jones saying that. Oh, sure, I talked about it a year or so before. White House advisors, Clinton advisors like Robert Shapiro and others all wrote editorials saying Obama needs terror attacks to look strong, or Obama needs to save us from terror attacks to look strong. And then they came along. Now, I've been saying over and over again, to get the Cybersecurity Act passed, which the lame duck session's trying to pass right now, they are going to need massive cyber attacks. And we know the Pentagon has admitted that they've launched cyber attacks against themselves. We know that the Stuxnet worm, still infesting computer systems all over the East, was launched by a consortium of Israel and the Pentagon. That's been in the Jerusalem Post.